Asia's bears are in trouble. Habitat loss, the pet trade, a demand for their body parts, and the horrific practice of bear bile farming for traditional medicine. In part 1 of this Insider on Asian bears, we delve into the illegal pet trade in Thailand and Malaysia. Asia is home to a number of bear species. There's China's famous pandas, brown bears, the Asiatic black bear or moon bear, and the smallest bear species in the world, the sun bear. Their natural habitat is the region's lush forests. Because of this, it's difficult to gauge population figures. But it's estimated that moon and sun bear numbers have declined by at least 30% in the last 3 decades. One of the reasons is that they're often poached and sold as pets, mostly when they're adorable cubs. This is a particular problem in Thailand and Malaysia. Edwin Week founded the Wildlife Friends of Thailand Sanctuary about 15 years ago and has dedicated his life to rescuing wild animals, including bears. He's also a tireless campaigner for ending the illegal wildlife trade. He's seen firsthand what happens to bears who are victims of the pet trade.
I've been trying to understand the last 15 years why people keep bears as pets, and I still don't get it. If you would be a local in Thailand and you wanted to have a bear as a pet, you could just actually buy one. And a bear would probably cost something like $500–600. They're cute when they're very small. They're extremely nice. They're really cuddly. But once they become about 8 months, a year old, they get bigger, they get more aggressive, unpredictable, and they destroy everything they get their claws on.
When people get tired of their pet bears, they often take them to temples like this one. Edwin and his team have arrived to rescue a bear who's been living in this small enclosed space for a number of years.
We are now here at a temple in Chumphon province in southern Thailand, and we're picking up today this little bear. This bear has been here for, we thought 7 years, but actually the abbot just told me almost 20 years. Today that's going to change. We're going to take the bear to WFFT. In Thailand, wild animals such as this bear end up in temples quite often. The reason? People take them in, little baby bears, little baby gibbons, baby monkeys, keep them as pets, and eventually they take these animals to temples. But obviously temples are not equipped to care for these animals, and especially when they get older, more aggressive, becomes a hazard. That bear needs to go.
The bear is given a tranquilizer so the team can move it safely. Once the sedative takes effect, they can carry it to the vehicle. Bears who have been kept in captivity for this long often have health and dental problems, as they haven't been eating their natural diet. Medical check complete, the bear is ready to go to his new home at the WFFT sanctuary. He's one of the lucky ones. Not all bear rescue stories have a happy ending. This is a sun bear, found living in horrific conditions by the WFFT. It had been kept in a dark room at a temple. Without sunlight and proper care, the bear was in shocking condition. They named him Kwan, and the medical team desperately tried everything they could do to save his life. But the years of abuse proved too much for this little creature, and in the end, he didn't make it. While laws regarding the ownership of wild animals vary from country to country, it's clear that even when there are guidelines, there is little or no regulation, and the practice continues unabated. Keeping a sun bear as a pet is also illegal in Malaysia, but that doesn't stop it from happening there either. One of the biggest sun bear conservation centres is in Sabah, Malaysia. The Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre was started 7 years ago by one of the world's leading sun bear experts, Dr. Su T. Wong. Set in beautiful natural forest surroundings, it's a place of safety for rescued sun bears. When the bears arrive here, they have to be re-taught to live and forage in the wild again. It takes a long time to rehabilitate bears, but Dr. Wong is determined to get as many as possible back into the wild. The pet trade isn't the only thing threatening the wild populations of sun and moon bears. In some countries, their body parts are highly prized.
Among all the bear body parts, gallbladder is the highly sought items for bear. Yeah, it has been used as a traditional Asian medicine, not just traditional Chinese medicine. Bear meat has been used as meat for food, and then other bear parts like claws and canines. Well, people believe that they carry special power, like special superstitious power that has been used especially in traditional ceremony, in their traditional costume and so on.
But the biggest threat to Asia's bears is deforestation and habitat loss.
Sun bears is a forest-dependent species. They live in the forest. They have to have forests in order to survive. So they don't survive in plantation, they don't survive in orchard, they don't survive in anybody's backyard. Unfortunately, over the last 50 years or so, the whole Southeast Asia experienced a rapid deforestation.
With thousands of hectares of natural forest being cut down, this is a real concern that needs the world's attention. Even if the pet and body parts trades are stamped out and poaching stops, bears still need somewhere to live. If there are no forests, there can be no bears. Meanwhile, back in Thailand, the rescued moon bear has a new home at the WFFT in an enclosure with other bears just like him. It's a far cry from the tiny space it spent the last 20 years of its life. And thanks to sanctuaries like the WFFT, the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre and others across Asia. Even though they may not be able to go back into the wild again, the rescued bears can have a quality of life they didn't have before. In part 2 of our Insider on Asian bears, we unveil the hideous practice of bear bile farming.